There are going to be days where you do not feel like doing anything. Days where your energy is gone, your motivation disappears, and your mind tries to pull you backwards. Those days will be there, no matter what path you choose. You see, we all have two voices in our mind. Two. There's that first voice, that soft voice, that gentle, comforting voice that whispers, "Just sleep in, take it easy, you don't need to work today." It tells you it's okay to quit early, to rest a little longer. It tells you you're tired, that you deserve a break, that you need comfort, safety, and softness. But that voice is the voice of weakness, the voice that pulls you away from your potential, the voice that tells you to slow down, back off, and take the easy road. And when you hear that voice, you have to stand up inside yourself and say, "No, sit down, be quiet, you are not in control." Because there's another voice inside you, a stronger voice, a deeper voice, a voice that asks you a powerful question. What could you become? What could you become if you worked as hard as you possibly could? What could you become if you imposed real discipline, real focus, real consistency in your life? What could you become? Because the discomfort you feel, the pain you feel, the resistance you feel, that is the test. This is the test. This is the day you find out if your goals are really your goals. This is the day you prove who you are becoming. Think about Michael Jordan. They call it the flu game. He was sick, exhausted, barely standing, and he still scored more than the average athlete ever could. Why? Because champions don't fold when pressure hits. Champions don't shrink when life gets heavy. Champions dominate anyway. And you need that same mentality. I'm talking about looking at yourself in the mirror, looking yourself directly in the eyes and saying, "I'm going to dominate today better than any day before." You see, you have to learn how to get excited when that "I don't feel like it" feeling creeps in. When those test days become something you look forward to, something you live for, that's when you unlock a level of mindset most people will never reach. That's when you become an unstoppable force of nature, a force that cannot be broken, cannot be shaken, and cannot be stopped. Mental toughness. It's the ability to resist, to manage, to overcome doubt, to overcome fear, to overcome worry, to overcome circumstances that break most people. The difference between someone who succeeds and someone who doesn't is not talent, is not luck, is not background. It's mental toughness. One group of people hits adversity and they shrink, they complain, they fold, they look for excuses. But the mentally tough, we see the storm coming, and instead of running, we grab our surfboard and we surf the waves that drown everyone else. You have to understand, your greatest asset is not your car, your clothes, or your money. Your greatest asset is your mind, and you must learn to control it. No matter what's happening around you, you control it. When you leave this world, what are you fighting for? What is your legacy? What will people remember? You say you're a champion, but do you practice like a champion? You say you're a champion, but do you fight like a champion? Do you have the mindset of a champion? Because champions keep going when they have nothing left in the tank. Champions rise when they're tired, frustrated, beaten down, and ready to quit. Champions push forward when everyone else stops. When they have no energy left, that's when they begin. When they're drained, exhausted, empty, that's when it's showtime. Greatness is when you find a way even when there is no way. When you find breath you didn't think you had. When you find strength that didn't seem to exist. when you find energy that wasn't there a moment ago. And when you want this goal, this dream, this life as badly as you want to breathe, that's when you find a way. And you will.